The World Darts Federation, WDF, has recently introduced a controversial policy aimed at cracking down on female darts players who refuse to compete against transgender opponents. This move comes in response to a growing number of protests within the sport, where some female players have forfeited matches rather than face transgender competitors. The WDF's decision has ignited a heated debate about the inclusion of transgender athletes in women's sports and the rights of female athletes who oppose this inclusion. The issue came to a head earlier this year when Deta Hedman, a three-time WDF World Championship finalist, pulled out of her quarterfinal match at the Denmark Open rather than compete against Noa-Lynn van Leuven, a transgender woman who has been competing in the women's circuit since beginning her transition in 2022. Hedman's decision drew widespread attention and sparked discussions about the fairness of allowing transgender women to compete in female-only tournaments. In response to this and similar incidents, the WDF has now clarified its position. Any player who withdraws from a match after the tournament has begun may face disciplinary action. In a statement, the WDF explained its rationale for the crackdown, citing the need to protect the integrity of the sport, uphold the ranking system, and safeguard the interests of its member countries, tournaments, and sponsors. Once the first dart has been thrown in a tournament, any player that subsequently withdraws from playing a match may be considered to be bringing the game into disrepute and could face disciplinary action, the statement read. The WDF's policy has been met with significant backlash, particularly from those advocating for the exclusion of transgender women from female sports. Critics argue that the policy unfairly punishes female athletes who may have legitimate concerns about competing against transgender opponents. Lynn Pinches, a pool player who last year forfeited a chance to win a national title after refusing to compete against a transgender opponent, voiced her outrage on social media. She described the WDF's decision as disgusting, accusing the organization of punishing women for protecting their own mental health. They will be disciplined so they behave like good girls, she wrote, highlighting the perceived injustice of the policy. The controversy surrounding transgender inclusion in women's sports is not new, but it has gained increased attention as more transgender athletes seek to compete at high levels. Noa-Lynn van Leuven, the transgender player at the center of the recent controversy, has made headlines by winning 2 Professional Darts Corporation (PDC) titles, one in Wigan, England, and another in Hildesheim, Germany. Her success has further fueled the debate over whether transgender women should be allowed to compete in women's sports, with some arguing that it gives them an unfair advantage due to their biological differences. Deta Hedman, who has been a prominent voice in this debate, has publicly called on the PDC and WDF to exclude transgender women from female tournaments. "I wouldn't play a man in a ladies' event," Hedman wrote on social media, making her stance clear. In a message to the Save Women's Sport campaign group, she expressed the distress the issue has caused her, stating, "This subject is causing much angst in the sport I love. People can be whoever they want in life, but I don't think biological-born men should compete in women's sport." The WDF's decision to enforce disciplinary action against players who refuse to compete against transgender opponents is likely to deepen the divide within the sport. Supporters of transgender inclusion argue that it is a matter of fairness and equality, while opponents believe it undermines the integrity of women's sports by creating an uneven playing field. As the debate continues, the WDF's stance will be closely watched, not just within the world of darts, but across the broader sporting community as well.